You're listening to Legein Fio, a Dungeons & Dragons 5e actual play podcast, starring Kaitlyn G, Loganne Digma, Chrissie Annie H, and Nelly. Thank you for tuning in, and enjoy!
Welcome back to the adventure. Last we left off, we went in the hole, and that is the extent of my knowledge. It's been quite a while since we last played and last recorded, so my memory is pretty foggy. So this is going to be very interesting.
For sure.
I have my session 4 notes if it helps. I could, speed TLDR them.
Yes,
sure.
absolutely.
You do the recap this time, because I don't know what happened.
Okay. We met a man named Aiden. We bullied him. These are my notes, word for word.
Flatbutt.
Flatbutt. Philly is from Harklash Islands. Illegal to be here. Celine calls. Brio gives speech reassuring they'll find people. Dumb old man is named Lawrence Cunningham. Go to library.
I forgot about Lawrence!
Dumb old man.
A book on war between Soran, and Cloudreach. I don't know what this means, but I had the words general monsters written down. Earthquakes are common, not huge splits, but they happen. Speak with Wilma, help with efforts. Lori gets punched. Well, I guess not punched. She gets whacked for questioning her competence. Philly marches off angry. Shunk is like, kill? Lori says yes with kindness. Philly is mad Wilma was disrespectful by questioning their intentions with the queen. Lori says people who don't get to know you aren't worth worrying about. Philly says she's wrong. We go to the hole.
I loved the a slightly robotic tilt to the Philly says that's wrong. And we go to
Yeah.
That's wrong.
Siri's like, Philly says that's wrongs Directions to nearest McDonald's.
Oh my god,
I
can
did
we
some
do
commercial
that?
narrations today.
Oh my god, someday I just want Siri to recap our session.
The chat GPT recap of our D&D session.
Oh my god, please!
Like the nutshell videos. Oh my god.
Exactly.
Yes. Oh my god, we need that. We need to separate.
Somebody out there start making nutshell videos for Legein Fio.
So, you are all in the hole, along with several other guards and a few volunteers who aren't quite as, who haven't been injured or quite as roughed up from the landfall. There are a few search dogs down here as well, who are sniffing and digging around the rubble, but there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of movement in the immediate area. It seems like the rubble just takes over the majority of the space, so anyone that may have fallen in there directly probably isn't walking around so much, to put it lightly.
If we look around the space, is it just one big sink, or is there a tunnel system, or is there many different sinks? Where can we go from here?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
Alrighty. That is going to be a 15 in total.
Ooh,
Nice.
Very nice. That's a good start.
I know, it's promising.
All right. So as you're looking around, you go over to one of the walls. So initially, it does look like just a big open circle. But you go over to one of the walls that seems to have a lot of debris kind of just piled up on it. And you kind of start to dig at it a little bit. And you do find that there seems to be an opening under some of this rubble that goes somewhere.
Oh, all right. I'm gonna call back over my shoulder just to make sure everyone knows where I'm going, so I don't eventually get lost and perhaps trapped and no one knows where I am. So I'll kind of dig through the rubble with my hands and kind of call back over my shoulder. Guys, I found some sort of tunnel or something here.
Our specialty.
As you call out, one of the guards with one of the search dogs, you catch their attention, and they hurry over to where you are. and the guard just whistles, and the dog immediately turns and starts digging at the mound until a full opening is revealed. And it appears to be a dark tunnel that stretches on however long. It's hard to tell with it being so dark in here. And with that, are you going in the tunnel?
Yeah. I'm gonna call back to Lorelei and Shunk. Guys, tunnel's open. Do you want to trek down again?
Lorelei kind of looks over to Shunk, gives a shrug, and goes back to another tunnel.
Shunk kind of looks up at the sky, and he's just like, okay. He just shrugs and follows.
Of course. We love it. We love to see it. Can I tell about... Is it like a slow in... Or I guess a decline? Is it a straight drop? What are we kind of expecting?
It's actually pretty level with the ground. It just kind of tunnels off into the darkness. You can't see very far ahead.
All right. I don't know if it would be a stupid thing to maybe shout down there and see if we hear anybody, or if that will either cause a cave-in or alert any monsters to our presence.
How far... I mean, this is a completely dark tunnel. How far ahead can we see? Just whatever distance we have?
See, you two don't have dark vision, right?
Shunk does. I mean, nope, Shunk doesn't.
All right, Shunk get in front. Shunk, get in front.
Oh. Lorelei just like picks him up and starts using him like a torch.
You know what? Lorelei turns around to look at you and kind of nods her head to the front of the group. Well?
He just starts like muttering under his breath as he like stomps forward.
Lorelei steps back to let him go.
Yeah,
a little cocky smile on her face.
As will I. My smile is absolutely genuine, though. I'm giving the "you can do it" kind of cheerleader expression.
Why, yes, Shunk. Yeah, we don't want you to stay in the nice fancy castle. Let's go back in a hole.
Shunk, we're helping people. Come on.
They can help us by putting us in a fancy castle, not in a dirty cave.
Before he goes into the tunnel, I'll kind of put my hands on his shoulders. I'll even kneel down to his level. Why not?
Oh, no.
Hey.
Shunk, I know you're a good person, so as much as it pains you to not be up in the nice castle, go down the tunnel, please.
I feel like she would shove him a little bit.
She just throws him.
A gentle little pat on the back, but it's the gentlest little push in the direction of the tunnel.
He goes tumbling through.
And Lorelei kind of says from behind you, hey, maybe if we find something worthwhile down here, they'll reward us even greater in the big fancy castle.
So you know in the like old cartoons when they would like quickly run away and you'd see just like a smoke outline of the person?
Yes.
Yeah, Shunk just absolutely books it.
I'm assuming down the tunnel and not away.
Oh yeah.
Good. Okay.
All right,
Awesome.
so you guys are looking down at this little goblin man, and then quicker than you can even register, there's suddenly just a dust cloud where he once was. Like, you blinked and he's gone.
Oh, Shunk, wait up. I'll wait for Lorelei to step in the middle so I can take the rear, if that's cool.
Yeah. Lorelei will step into the middle. Well, that boosted his spirits as she follows after him.
Anything having to do with money or treasure usually does.
I can agree on that.
As you get further in, the tunnel very sharply turns to the... Yep, that's my right. To the right.
Did you just like lift your hands up and like check the L's?
Yes,
oh boy.
I did. I do this every time. I do it when I'm driving. I don't know what to tell you. I can't.
Do you let go of the
I have
wheel
to
do
this.
it?
No, I don't let go of the wheel, but I do like put them in the Yes, the DM has to use her hands to know her left from her right. What of it? What of it?
No, I love it. It's great.
So it sharply turns to the right, and as you continue going, it starts to get a lot narrower. I'm gonna take a guess. Is it stalagmite that's hanging upside down?
Like the Minecraft thing?
I thought it was stalagmites go from the ground.
I was thinking that too, but I'll double check. Hold on, we're gonna do a quick
Okay, and
magical
also
Google search.
Logan, sweetheart, my love, you realize these are like, that's a real life thing, right? Like,
I didn't know what it was until mine. Like, I knew it existed. I didn't know what it was called until mine.
Okay. Stalagmite is a rock formation that grows from the floor of a cave, created by the accumulation of material from dripping water from the ceiling. So then stalactite is the one from the ceiling.
Okay.
Yeah.
There are stalactites. There. God. We're a mess.
Yeah, so no one jump or be tall. Shunk's already got that covered, so it's just the rest of us we need to worry about.
Yeah, you two are probably gonna need to at least crouch down to avoid getting, well, to just get through in general.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
I'll fold my wings in.
We'll crouch. I'll lower my head.
Is he gonna, like, chop one down, or...?
He's waiting for you to walk under it.
Ah, okay. Well, yeah, you're leading, so did you already get underneath them?
Yeah.
Alright, so then, well, yeah, I'll crouch down and behind Lorelei and go ahead and walk through.
Yeah.
They might be brushing
we'll
her
watch
little...
our heads.
They might be brushing her little ear tufts, because Philly's pretty tall.
Yeah.
I want to poke one so bad.
I'm like staring very like suspiciously at the screen, waiting for whatever you're gonna do next. For Shunk, it's always something so out of pocket, and I'm scared.
No,
he won't hit one of them. Knowing Philly's track record, she's probably gonna die to all of them.
Hey, that was one time. That was one time.
It won't be the last.
No, probably won't be. You're right. Single tear drops down. This is not even in character. This is in player. A single tear rolls down my cheek. Yeah. So I'll walk underneath the stalactites. Head crouch down. I'll head ducked, crouch down as much as I possibly can to get underneath them.
All right. You guys went ahead of Shunk, so that means
Shunk's
Lorelei
up the
is in
front still.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you guys passed Shunk. Okay. In that case.
Erasing the line on her notes that says "put monster in front of them."
No, just erasing the pre-thought line of Philly dies again.
Yeah. Is it really a session of the Verona Chronicles if Philly doesn't die at least once per session?
Great question. Or at least comes near
Near death
near
experience.
Death. Alright, you guys continue on for... It takes quite a while, actually, to get through the area with all the stalactites. But once you do, the tunnel opens up quite a bit, and you're all able to stand. You could all three stand side by side if you wanted to. But from where you stand, it looks pretty empty. It's this... It's almost like, the ground, it kind of like slopes down, like it's almost like a bowl kind of shape. It seems like a dead end.
Seems like a dead end.
Seems like one.
Says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this was a waste of time, Shunk says as he like throws his arms up in the air and starts walking back towards the stalactites.
Philly's gonna, like, without even turning around, she's just gonna reach her arm out and grab the back of the collar of the shirt that Shunk is wearing, just kind of hold him in place.
Do I sense any, like, magic in the area or anything that could be, like, false or fake?
I'll say Arcana check for that, yeah.
Okay. Oh. Well, that's a 2 minus 2, making that a 0.
No.
You start walking around the bowl.
It's a bowl.
Sure is
Says
empty
Lorelei.
in here. There's quite a bit of echo, I guess.
Ooh, echo.
Echo, echo, echo.
Echo. Well, seems empty to me.
Is there anything in here besides just the cave walls?
Would you like to make an investigation check?
I would, yeah, actually.
Okay, go for it.
Let's see, because I don't wanna not be suspicious of this place anymore. That is gonna be an 8 in total, so not great, not utterly terrible.
You
Not
join...
a 0.
Yeah, not a zero.
You join Lori in the middle of the bowl. It looks pretty empty. I guess the ground, like the bowl, the bowl-shaped ground is very smooth as opposed to like the rest of the walls of the tunnel, which are, rocky and rough.
So I'm gonna assume, since it's smoother and it's kind of a bowl shape, it's either been carved out by hand or as like maybe water came in over time. Would that be a correct assumption?
I can't say yes or no, but if you want to assume that, you can assume that.
So it's DM speak for neener.
Nice, I mean, it's your theory.
I know.
What does the ceiling look like?
It's got a few stalactites up there as well, but they're a lot higher up.
Okay.
It is closed off, though. You can't see the sky.
Mm-hmm. Shunk, do you see anything?
Oh, that's true. Shunk better check.
Nope, absolutely nothing. It was a waste of time coming down here.
What happened to the money and glory?
He just motions to like the empty room and is like, there's so much money and glory in here.
Well, maybe we'll find some at the end of the tunnel if we can find a way out of here first.
He kind of just like hangs his head, is like, fine.
Could I would like to, at a volume, I want to try and find a comfortable volume where if somebody was maybe down here in a way that we couldn't see, they would be able to hear me, but not so loud and echoey enough that I could cause any sort of rock slide, cave in, whatever. And I'm going to petition that since I have a musician's ear, since I'm a bard, I would be able to fine-tune the right, I don't want to say frequency or like decibel, that would be a good volume for this. But I just want to shout out and just kind of check, like, hello, is anyone down here?
Alright, look, the echo in a cavern isn't an instrument you can, like, tune to your liking. All you can do is shout and hope for the best.
Alright, I'm not gonna shout then. I'm just going to say it at a normal volume.
Okay. You say that, and the sound of your voice bounces off the walls, and it's a very prevalent echo.
Interesting, but no response.
No response.
Shunk is gonna rummage around in his pockets, in his pack, and pull out some of those gems from the first cave we were in.
Ooh.
And he's just gonna like drag them across the walls. I don't know, trying to see if there's something magic-y about anything.
If you would all please
Oh no.
stall for me for a moment while I type.
Oh.
I thought you were to say roll initiative.
No,
I
for me.
thought it was gonna be a saving throw for sure.
I thought they were gonna like explode in his hands.
Your hands are now
Well,
shredded.
We all die.
You take 24 points of damage.
Yeah, like what gem
whole
were you? What hand were you holding those gems in? Ah, your right hand. You're left-handed now.
Yup.
While Shunk is figuring out stuff with his crystals, I think I'm just gonna kind of continue to. You don't even have to direct me on this. This is just more role play. Just kind of walk around the area, kind of bring myself back up from the sloped down ground. Just brush my hands over the walls, kind of take in my surroundings of the area, exploring the cave and just kind of getting a feel for it.
Yeah, and then Lorelei will get out of the bowl as well and kind of follow next to you, watching the wall wherever you place your hand. Do you think this tunnel's been here for a while?
It seems like it. I mean, something of this magnitude has either had to have come from some sort of construction, civilized construction, water damage, as I'm kind of running my hand back down on the floor over the smooth part of the bowl. I mean, it could have been some sort of hideout, house, mine. Who knows?
Well, the way we got in was from the cave-in when, well, the city collapsed in on itself. So there's gotta be another entrance to it somewhere.
Little feathery tufts kind of perk up at that. I think you have a really good point there. And I'll continue just kind of looking around the walls. Just interested.
How's it going, Shunk?
He's just like frozen in place, with the crystals, just dragging them across the wall.
Coloring.
Pretty much, that's the idea I had. He's just like scribbling on the walls with all the crystals.
He's drawing on the wall.
Yeah.
He's trying to draw a door, like carve it out with the crystals, drawing a door, and then like he's using some of them to like draw a treasure chest.
Shunk in the purple gem.
Uh-oh.
No, wait, what's uh-oh? What's uh-oh?
Well,
What's uh-oh?
I just got a message from Annie.
I honestly don't know if Nelly's 100% messing with us right now, because that totally seems like a thing he would do, where he gets a harmless message and goes, uh-oh, I just received a message. Oh, no.
So as Shunk is drawing a door and like a treasure chest in the side of the wall with these imaginary Crayolas, he finds some scribbles already on the wall, and he's like, I didn't do those. Shunk kind of just like drops all the crystals as he kind of pees himself a little.
Shunk, you okay? Because I'll notice the crystals clattering to the ground and immediately
Oh, you'll notice the
turn back
crystals
around.
and not the pee.
Okay, well, I hear the crystals, I turn around, and then notice the giant puddle of pee. Are you happy?
Very.
Okay, I will hear the crystals, I'll turn around, making sure you're okay, try to ignore the big puddle of pee, because I'm concerned about your safety. And I'll wander over, again, making sure not to step in the big puddle of pee, because you find it so important.
Lorelei will follow. Make sure not to step on the pee as well.
Yeah. Shunk, what is it?
Also, DM, I can read that language.
Oh, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah, I know where this is
stall
going.
for me while I type again then.
Hey DM.
Mm-hmm.
How much would this ruin your plan if I told you that Shunk knows the language, but he just can't read?
If that was the case, then why did you have me write it out?
For funsies.
Hold on, what language is it in? If I
Well,
can
tell
ask.
us what language it is, and maybe one of us can read it.
Okay, yeah, if Shunk can't read, then obviously you don't know what it says, so,
But could he not like go, for example, ain't that English? I don't know how to read, but that looks like English. Then he can say that's English. You know?
Okay, you know what? That I can work with that. So after Shunk drops the crystals and pees himself a little bit, he kind of like narrows his eyes at the scribbles on the wall. And then as he turns to Philly, he, instead of like his normal kind of like bored face, it's one of like kind of intrigue and absolute fear as he kind of like whispers to her and he points at it and he says, "Why is there dragon writing?"
Oh my gosh.
Go! Let's go.
Jeez. Okay, I'll put my hands on Shunk's shoulders again because I see he's clearly frightened. What do you mean? And I'll lean in to look at the writing. Shunk, you could probably tell better than Lorelei, but when I put my hands on your shoulder, as soon as you say dragon writing, I am also slightly shaking. But I cannot speak or read Draconic, but I'm going to like just take a look at it to maybe commit it to memory.
you look at it, it sure is writing all right. You don't know what it says, but it's writing.
I'm going through my spells to make sure I have nothing to finagle this. Hold on.
I know, hold on, me too. Nope. I do have, ink quill, and I do have, like, scrolls and stuff on me. Would I be able to copy down, even though I can't understand it, copy down what it says so that eventually at some point I can maybe translate it?
Sure.
Sweet.
Go ahead, since you're in the dark, and this is a language that you're not familiar with, we'll make that a, survival check, I think. Wait, nope, performance, my bad.
Alright, I'll take that. I'm gonna kind of not push Shunk over, but kind of, take my hands on his shoulders, kind of push him forward to use his back as, like, a table.
You've got walls and a smooth ground surface, but you decide to write on my back.
That is the performance. That's gonna be a 15.
All right, you managed to, pretty accurately, jot down the shapes you see on the wall.
Thank goodness. Heck yeah. So yeah, I'll finish up with that, and then I'll roll up the scroll and put it back in my...
Go ahead and, for the scroll, write it down as draconic message, just to remember that you have that.
Now that I have it copied down, is there any way to tell maybe if I want to know how long the message has been here, and I guess that also goes into how the message is written. Is it carved? Is it written in ink and, dare I say, blood?
Oh, yeah, it's carved in there. It's carved into the stone.
Okay, cool.
So it's not written in P. Gotcha.
No.
Nope.
How big does the message look? Like, are these like really big? I guess, does it look like they're really big letters, or is it really small?
Not small, but not like, it doesn't cover like the entire wall.
Okay.
But decently pretty big.
Okay.
What font is it in?
Comic Sans.
Hell yeah.
So, in that case, I really wish I could read Draconic, but I can't.
I really wish I could read.
How long? How long did it take us to get from the entrance of the tunnel to the place we're in now?
I'd say it was roughly about 10-15 minutes of just squeezing through the cave.
It was small, though. Was Wilma a dragonborn?
She was, yes.
Oh, that's right! Oh, I can't go ask her for help, though, because I yelled at her.
But also,
This is why you need to be careful!
This is like The Sims, when you have, like, bad social standings with people and then they don't want to help you.
Yeah, your actions will have consequences.
Yeah, I'll have someone else who is nice for her take this paper to her eventually when we get back to the surface. I'm scared to leave because I feel like we're gonna miss something, but also this cavern... One more quick question. Remind me if you said this before, but is the cavern big enough to hold a dragon?
Have you ever seen a dragon before?
I mean, Philly has studied enough mythology, I think, in her search for Kira, that she would probably know some things about dragons, I'm going to assume.
But you've never seen one in person.
Probably not, no.
In that case, then you have no idea.
Cool. I'm like, this is about the size of a dragon drawing in a book I saw once.
How large is the bowl?
35 feet across.
And how, like, deep does it go down? Like, is it a sudden drop or is it just like a slight kind of decline?
It's a slight decline. Like, yeah, it's just a light slope in the ground. It's not super deep at all.
Shunk is gonna, like, walk, like, back up against the wall, pull out a bedroll, and then kind of jump as high as he can as he puts the bedroll under him to kind of just, like, surf along the bowl.
Trying to forget the trauma of the draconic message, I see.
Okay.
I mean, when else are we gonna come across a bowl like this?
I just had a scary thought, guys.
Okay.
Let me ask God though. Is there anything else? As Shunk is surfboarding now on the bowl, are there any like leaves or hay or just like anything within the bowl? Or
I think we have the same thought.
Yeah, or is it just a stone bowl?
Surprisingly, it's just a stone bowl. It's very clear. There was, like, no debris or anything. Shunk, as you slide down, you get to, like, the middle of the bowl, and you go over it, and as you do, you kind of feel a bit of a bump from it at first, and then you kind of start going up the other wall, and then gravity takes you back towards the middle, and you kind of feel that bump again every time you kind of swing over the middle.
Boy, I hope this isn't anything suspicious.
Shunk says out loud in the echoey cavern.
But I'll never tell.
After he's done having his fun, he's gonna walk over to the center of the bowl and kind of just, like, tap his foot on it a bit to try and see what is causing the bump.
Go ahead and make an investigation check.
Ooh, I'm great at these. That would be a 13.
Oh, hey, not bad. All right, you kind of tap it with your foot a bit, and you feel, strangely, the middle of the bowl it feels kind of weak. It feels like the ground itself is strangely thin, and that, like, part of it can almost be, like, pushed down, but you just can't physically, like your boot can't physically go through it.
Hey, Lorelei.
She looks to you. Yeah? Yeah?
Shunk kind of like steps back from the mill a little bit, and he says, "You should jump here. It's really bouncy."
Okay. And she'll come slide down the bowl, and it's in the middle of the bowl, right? It's like a very small bump. Okay. And she'll look down to and look back to you. If I fall through, I hope Billy catches me.
As soon as I hear that, I figure Shunk's up to something, and I'll just prep myself to fly and catch Lorelei if she falls.
Be behind me. Okay.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
It's totally not a weak point in the ground. It's bouncy and fun.
How about, as Lorelei takes a step back, I just blast it with something instead of me jumping into it.
I thought you were gonna say you were gonna jump and then grab Shunk while you were jumping.
and then I drag Shunk down with me.
Exactly.
You just spike him into the ground like a football.
Oh my god, I'm so tempted to just say this puzzle specifically so that can happen.
Oh, I lie. I thought that could do something. Well, I had nothing to whack it with. Okay, well, I guess I have my... No. Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna have to step on it and just put a lot of force into it. Can I do that?
Sure. Yeah, you stamp on it with your hoof. You can feel this specific part that it's weirdly thin, but you can't break through it. It very much feels like there's something on the other side.
Interesting.
But we can't break through it with, like, our regular abilities, or you just can't break through it, period?
Can't break through it with your regular abilities, I guess.
Okay, so we need more force.
Can I slide my way down to the bowl to see what they're all kind of looking at? Because I haven't officially looked at it. Does it feel like rock, or is it some other material?
It kind of feels like rock, but...
DM, I'm gonna message you something, because Shunk's kind of just like thinking what it may be.
It feels like something that could be moved, like something that could be opened in some way. Or I guess thick plastic would be another close. Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
You know what? When all else fails, Shunk is gonna lick it.
Of course you are.
Make a Constitution saving throw for me.
No!
Fantastic.
Oh, no! Our actions have consequences.
Hey, we're getting somewhere.
That's true.
This is a development.
That would be 18.
Oh, thank goodness.
Okay.
It's a high number.
You managed to lick it. Hold on, let me do a roll.
No!
What are we rolling for?
Oh, Jesus Christ, you're kidding me. So Shunk, you lick it, and when you do, okay, I hope this isn't, like, too graphically gross, but, the saliva sinks into the ground, and you can see it, the tiniest little opening as the saliva kind of breaks through it.
Oh!
I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe this is how it's going down.
So we have to lick our way through it, is what you're saying.
Good lord.
Don't
just get
do
Shunk
that.
to pee on it again.
Or just pee on it. There you go.
Yeah. I shouldn't have suggested it because we'll actually do it.
I swear to God, if you do that, I will sick some monsters on you.
Okay.
I guarantee it.
Keep our fluids inside our bodies, except for the spit. I guess the spit is allowed. Do we all see as Shunk licks the floor and creates a small opening in the material without dying, presumably?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna be completely honest. I have no idea how Philly in character would respond to Shunk licking the floor and it actually doing something helpful in the situation.
I don't know how to react either, and I'm God.
Hi.
I feel like when Shunk licks the floor, Philly's gonna step back at first and go, oh, Shunk, Shunk, you shouldn't just like. And then as I'm scolding him, I'll look down and notice that the floor has broken up even the tiniest bit. Oh! And I'll just kind of turn to Shunk and just stare at him.
Shunk do good?
Are you okay? Do you feel okay?
He kind of just looks up at Philly, his mouth still like on the ground. He just gives her a thumbs up.
At this point, since we have a weak point in it, if one of us just stamp down on it, would the rest of it break now that we have an opening?
Probably not.
Okay. Keep licking. No.
How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
Is that actually what we're doing right now? I swear.
No,
that's the solution.
No, it better not be.
Well, if it's dissolvable, is it burnable? I wonder. I'm scared to try it, but I'm gonna try it anyways, unless anyone else has a better idea.
Nah, I'll back up. I'll let you go.
Okay, Lorelei will take a step closer and look down to Shunk, who's currently licking the ground, and say, get your tongue off the ground, unless you wanted to get burned in the process.
I'm gonna grab Shunk in my arms and back up to give Lorelei space.
You pick him up and he acts like a cat. He's just like clawing away, trying to get back to it.
Shunk, you're gonna get yourself burned. Stop it.
Could I use Sacred Flame and put my hand against, not standing on top of where the rock is thinner, but just placing my hand where it's thinner just to see if that would possibly dissolve the rock further? Or quote-unquote rock further?
You try to set fire to the middle of this rock, and after a while, it just doesn't seem to be doing anything. But nothing really catches fire. But while you're doing this, the room does light up a bit. And as it does, you can kind of glance around, and you notice that the bowl, like the smooth texture of the bowl, you can see very, very thin, kind of like lines almost. Basically, you are able to tell that it was carved out over time by what appears to be water. And when you look up again at the stalactites, it makes sense why they're hanging directly over it. But there's no water coming down from them right now.
If I were to fly up to the ceiling and maybe just kind of knock around on the ceiling, take a look around, does it seem like there is some sort of cavern or opening above us?
There's no caverning. Yep, nailed it. Perfect.
Yeah.
Nothing above you other than the stalactites, but it is, it's very, there's a lot of, moss and mold kind of up against the ceiling and around the stalactites, but surprisingly, it's, bone dry over there. There's, no water coming through. Okay,
because I thought maybe my train of thought was that perhaps at some point above this cavern, just between a thin layer of ceiling to floor, there was maybe a lagoon, or maybe we're even over the ocean or something like that. And so that's what caused all the mold and the moss and the water and everything like that. But then at some point it's dried up. Now, I don't know how that would help us, but that was just my train of thought.
When Philly flew up to the ceiling, did she take Shunk with her, or did she leave him on the floor?
I set him down on the floor, and then I flew up.
Okay, since Philly is kind of far away, I guess Lorelei would have heard, but you just hear, a zip, and then a trickle.
No! No!
Are you doing it onto the spot?
No!
Yep.
Lorelei takes a step back and just disgust, but lets you do it since it seemed effective with your saliva.
This is when Annie leaves the call and quits Legein Fio forever. The podcast is over. She is quit.
Alright, you do that. And unfortunately, it does open up a little. But it doesn't open up enough. And then there's as a small rock falls from the ceiling and hits you on the head, Shunk, you're gonna take a point of damage for that.
worth.
I feel like this episode should be entitled the one where Nelly/Shunk pees on everything.
We're from licking to peeing.
This is not how I...
At least it wasn't the other way around.
Yeah. Just really opening up the audience to what they're gonna expect in this episode. Don't shroud anything. Just tell them
Guys,
right
I'm
then
so
and there.
sorry. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. This isn't what I wanted.
No. We're
Well,
all
this
good.
is what you get.
We started this, okay? This is entirely on us.
Should I tell him?
You can't give us puzzles and free will because this is what we do with it. Okay, I don't want to do this, but for the sake of moving forward with the plot, if I can get as close to the hole as possible without stepping in or touching the pee, can I see if there's anything through the hole? Like, can I see what is underneath
This
this?
is ridiculous.
Seems to be an opening. It's like hollow. So like there's somewhere to go underneath.
But it's too dark, we can't see anything underneath it.
Right. And also the hole's too small.
Okay.
The draconic words definitely help us with this puzzle, but the problem is we don't know what they say. And I don't know if we can progress further if we don't know what those words say.
Unless she was planning for Shunk to know the words and then he dropped the whole I can't read thing. And totally just messed up Annie's plans, which might be what happened. Who knows? But none of us will ever know.
Just a side note to the audience, that is in fact what happened.
Okay, hold on. Is there any way that we can tag team? So I am going to assume that Shunk understands Draconic and just can't read. So if we can figure out, based on the words that Shunk knows, what the writing says, which I don't know how we would do that. If we could figure out a way to make that happen, we could translate the words that way. But I have no idea how that would work.
We're gonna teach Shunk how to read.
Oh my gosh, wait, wait. We actually could teach Shunk how to read.
With like just these letters though. Like whatever this word is.
Yeah.
So it's quick.
Okay, but if we don't speak Draconic, how do we do that?
I actually had, like, even if Shunk, didn't know Draconic, I thought to myself, oh, I think one of them has, like, a spell or an ability or something that helps them translate stuff. I was wrong.
Nope.
That was an oversight on the DM's part. My bad.
Can I pray to my mom that I suddenly know Draconic?
Yeah, you can pray and nothing happens.
Cool. I'm gonna change my prayer slightly that Shunk knows how to read for this one instance. All right then. Okay, so it's okay. We know it has something to do with water because the stalactites brought the water down, carved out the bottom. The saliva, and I absolutely hate that these words are coming in my mouth. The fact that Shunk licked and then peed on the rocks worked. I hate it here.
Not as much as I do.
So you said when I flew up to the top, there was mold and moss, and there was like a ceiling. Yes, there was a ceiling of rock.
Yep.
And that was was it also that kind of same thin material, or was that more thick? Like, let's say
that
if
was
I knocked
more,
on it.
Yeah, that was more thick. That was more like natural stone.
Okay, so like let's say if I knocked on it, like it wouldn't sound hollow.
If you could even, like, get your hand through all the stalactites, it would, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Is there no like way we could finesse this and like here we go. This is my attempt. I grew up in a monastery, right? I'm sure I was very well educated, right? I know I don't know Draconic. I don't. But is there any way I've at least seen it before? Perhaps I could help Shunk decipher at least a letter.
I'd say even if you've seen it, that doesn't mean you know how to read it.
Did Shunk teach me Draconic at any point? Shunk, you can retcon your backstory right now.
No, you can't.
Absolutely didn't.
Or we could just go back up to the surface and drag a Dragonborn. Go back to the surface and be like, do any of the rescuers or their dogs know how to speak Draconic?
The dogs.
We might just have to. We might just have to go back, to be honest. And you wrote it down, so you could at least show it to them. Then we can go back. Because I know the hole's really small, so they can't really fit anyways.
Okay, yeah, that's so true.
That is a very good point, actually. And before you can actually turn back, you hear the sound of, like, claws scrabbling against the ground.
Nope.
And then you hear a bark.
Oh.
And you look the way you came, and you see one of the searcher dogs has crawled through the stalactites and gotten over to where you all are.
What a good dog.
Oh,
and after a couple seconds, a halfling and a gnome come crawling through as well. They seem to be in guard uniforms. And they kind of pause and look rather surprised to see you all here. And hello.
Hi. Nice to meet you. My name's Philomena, and I'll stick out my hand to shake first because I'm polite.
Hello, and he shakes your hand. Abraham.
I love it. Yeah, I'll explain to dear Abraham. Is Abraham the gnome or the halfling?
The gnome.
Okay, cool. We found this opening here, and we came down to see if there were any survivors or anyone who needed help, and we ended up coming across this strange little opening. This is going to sound like the weirdest question ever, but do you or your friend, by any chance, speak or know how to read Draconic?
I can. You hear a Shunk, like, calls from the other side of the room.
I will turn back to Abraham. This is the issue. He can't read. So, by any chance, if you happen to understand Draconic, either you know how to speak it or preferably read it, we could really use your help.
Well, I'm not fluent, but I think I could probably sound out the words.
Perfect!
But,
okay.
One question. Why does it smell like this in here?
Shunk you hear a zip coming from Shunk as he points at Lorelei. It's like, she's kind of getting a little old.
Lorelei will look back at him and then look back to Abraham. No, he had the creative idea of, and she stops before she just kind of nods back to the pee hole in the middle.
You did not just call it that.
What else is it?
Definitely not that. I'll look at him. Never mind. Just don't stand in the middle of the room. All right, come here, and I'll lead Abraham over to the wall.
Okay. Anyway, so he goes over and he looks up at it and kind of looks very surprised at it and scratches the back of his head. And, oh boy. Well, this is some really old writing. Which one of you said you could speak?
That would be him, and I'll point to Shunk.
I didn't pee on the floor.
Shunk, he didn't ask. Okay.
Okay.
Shunk kind of, like, walks up behind the guy as he's trying to, like, read it or sound it out. And so Shunk puts his hands on him. And, like, he starts, like, patting his back as he starts wiping his hands.
Wait, on Abraham?
Yeah.
I hate this.
As soon as you, like, put a hand on him, he kind of, like, elbows and turns away from you, like, oh, no, please don't do that.
Shunk, why don't you come stand with me over here?
He kind of just bounces up towards Philly as he reaches out.
No. Let's find something for your hands to do besides touching other people. God. I never thought this was how today was gonna go.
Yeah, you're telling me.
It was really funny. In my inventory, for some reason, I have an incense. I don't know why. I'm just gonna just in the background. Yeah, in the background, I'm just gonna use Sacred Flame again. I'm just gonna light the incense and just kind of hold it out. Let it soak in the room. You know.
Okay.
Let it just fill the room.
The halfling and the dog look very grateful.
For some reason in my pack, I just happened to look. I do have soap. I'm going to give that to Shunk right now. I'll just dig around my pack and just silently hand him the soap, making sure I'm holding like the very corner of it so that there's absolutely no way he can touch my hands.
You know what that reminds me of? You know when
What?
like you're out in public or like you're at a theme park and you see like the parents sitting there with their kids and the kids got like just junk all over their hands and face. So the parents pull out like the wet wipes and start like cleaning their face and hands.
Oh.
Yeah, that's essentially what I'm doing. But I'm just letting you take care of it because you're a grown man.
Is he though?
Yeah, surprisingly, Shunk is the grown man and Philly is the teenager in this situation.
Does Abraham sound out the words to me?
Yes. That's what I sent to you.
As Abraham's sounding out the words in a terrible dialect, Shunk kind of just like his ears perk up as he turns back around after getting all washed up from Philly, and he kind of just like tilts his head a bit and he says, "Entry. You fall, but never rise."
Well, that's concerning.
Well, it's a good thing I didn't stomp on it and let it cave in.
Yeah, probably a great thing. I'll kind of like flitter my wings on my back. Well, seeing as this is written in Draconic, and from what I know about dragons, they have wings, I'm gonna guess that this is maybe either not literal and some sort of metaphor, since anyone who has wings can fall and rise again, or there's some sort of magic, perhaps, keeping people down in the hole whenever they fall in. Either way, I would be wary.
Lori looks back to the thinned-out hole. Ew. And, and there's no other writings on the walls anywhere around us?
Nope.
Nothing else? Okay. And according to what's on that wall there, it's an entrance of some kind. Maybe whatever wrote this, gesture into the writing, is down there.
I don't want to go down there then.
Shunk kind of like nods his head in agreement. He's like, "Yeah, and whoever wrote this probably did that." As he points to the P.
Abraham looks at you and then just looks back at the wall.
I mean, theoretically, if we wanted to go down there. Oh, wait, did you have an idea?
Yeah, I just got it.
Go for it.
No, like,
Go.
I as a person just got it, but Shunk is just too dumb.
Dang.
Very clever. I like it.
I don't get it. Kate, do you get it?
I feel like perhaps I maybe...
Oh, you guys are gonna hate me.
My, like, suggestion would be to put away the riddle books for middle schoolers and go back down to kindergarten.
Yeah. Okay, I mean, if we are just talking players to players to players here, fall but never rise, given with the abundance of how successful we were with liquids, makes me think waterfall. That might just be too easy, though.
It's been like an hour and a half. I don't know if I'd consider that easy.
No, that's DM speak for please, God. Do the thing.
To be fair, a good chunk of that hour was us struggling because we couldn't read the riddle.
Yes,
Wait.
and that was my bad. I probably should have quadruple checked that someone would know what to do with this.
You're all good. We got Chunk peeing on the hole because of it.
This is my favorite session I've ever played.
I am distraught. I am distressed.
It's fine. We got this. Anyway, but that is
The world
my
is so
thought.
doomed.
Yeah, I mean, you did put the fate of the world in the three of our hands.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is my thought. But my only thing is, I'm assuming, based on the reactions of everybody at this hypothetical table, that we were not supposed to spit and or pee on the hole. So if water was the solution, we would have to figure out another way to access water, which made me think if we could open up the ceiling above, but the ceiling above seems dry.
See, I thought of water a while ago, but yeah, I that's why I
Oh
assumed...
yeah, I'm sure you did.
No, because that's why I said fire, fire because we didn't have any other water options. No one had water on them.
Shunk kind of like raises his hand as everyone's yelling about water, and he holds out his water skin that every player should have.
I don't have water skin. What?
I'm leaving. I'm gonna go home. I can't.
You're already home.
I'm going further into it.
That was fast.
Yeah, we broke. How many sessions did it take to break Annie?
Shunk's just gonna like dump out his water pouch onto
There
the
we go.
floor.
Someone had water. I checked if I had water, I swear to God, but I didn't. That's why I did fire.
Because they're so similar.
I somehow have ink and oil, but no water. And I have perfume.
I literally Googled on the internet like 20 minutes ago, what else can dissolve stuff if not water? And fire was an option, apparently. That's why I went with Sacred Flame.
You could have said water.
I didn't have water on me.
You should have a water skin.
I don't. It's not in my inventory.
I don't either.
What? That's just a thing you guys should have.
Like I said, I have bottles of ink, I have flasks of oil, and I have a vial of perfume, but no water.
I literally considered a potion of healing as an alternative, but I didn't want to waste it.
So this whole time, Philly has just been sharing a water skin with Shunk, and Lorelei's been, I don't fucking know, hoping for a river.
Exactly.
I mean, the sharing
Jesus
thing with
Christ.
Shunk is actually very in character. Anyway, so when Shunk tips his water skin, Annie, who is now, has a broken spirit,
Has abandoned you.
has abandoned us, spirit broken, soul shattered, faith in not just us, but all of humanity destroyed. What happens?
You pour it, and it does start, the hole kind of starts to widen, and the ground kind of starts to crumble. And then slowly, it almost seems to slide open as if it was a door. As it does, the guards and the dog, they jump back to like the very back wall as the floor opens up.
In that case,
In the hole?
we should probably. Yeah, I was gonna say in the hole.
What? How are we supposed to get in there?
Logically speaking, like I said, I have wings and I can fly down there, but I also have trauma from session 1. So I don't really wanna
that's good
partake
for
in
you. I
that.
don't know if you've noticed, we don't have wings.
Yeah, I know.
I'm assuming that Shunk would have been standing near like Abraham and the others as they were like reading the thing. So then when they jumped back, Shunk was kind of with them still. As the hole opens up, Shunk kind of like turns around, looks at the hole, looks at Philly and Lorelei and is like, in the hole? And then he looks at Abraham and the others as he kind of just like salutes them as he falls backwards into the hole.
Oh my gosh! As soon as you do that, Abraham just screams, like reaches out to try and catch you on instinct, but misses as you just fall right down. And then you hear as the dog jumps in right after Shunk.
Oh my god! Okay, that's it.
Can I keep him?
Forget trauma. I'm running, spreading wings, jumping down to try and catch Shunk.
Lorelei?
I'm not just gonna jump down. Okay, Lorelei's gonna wait, and if Philly catches Shunk, and I get the signal that it's okay to go down, I'll figure something out.
Okay.
You got that 20-foot chain. 25 feet, sorry.
I do have a chain. You're so right. But who's gonna
Alright.
hold the other end? The halfling.
Yeah.
Alright, so Shunk, you and the dog, you're not falling for very long before you land on something soft and bouncy, and you bounce right off it and land relatively safely on the ground, and you look and you see you have landed on a giant mushroom. The dog bounces off of it and kind of lands next to you, shakes himself out, and kind of glances around.
What kind of mushroom is it?
Do you remember the giant overgrown mushrooms in the, like, abandoned town that was in...
Yeah.
Yep, like that.
Cool. Okay. We're safe.
For now.
I feel like since I was just kind of barreling down, not knowing how deep the hole was to try and catch Shunk, I just kind of... It's almost like running headfirst into a mattress, I feel like. Where I just kind of fly and...
Hold on.
What?
I'm gonna make a roll. Alright.
What?
Philly, you go right down, and before you can stop yourself, you do land face first into the mushroom, and it, like, winds up and bounces back and just rockets you right back up towards the ceiling.
Like,
As
back up the
Lorelei,
hole.
you see as this blur of Philly, probably like feathers, falling just in the pure speed as she rockets back out.
I like to imagine this is Lorelei's reaction. So I see Shunk fall into the hole. I'm like, Shunk! And I run and I jump. And flap of wings. A couple seconds later, just... she bounces back up. Doppler effect. Back up the hole.
Oh, the way Discord cut you off was perfect. Oh, that's incredible.
Goodness.
Lorelei watches as you just, like, rocket right out of the hole again. I'm assuming you just kind of, like, smack into the ceiling. Like, not smack into the ceiling, but almost hit the ceiling as she looks up to you. What? Reverse flying? Is Shunk alive? What happened?
Feathers, ear tufts, wings, puffed out in surprise. She's kind of flapping to stay afloat and kind of holding on to the stalactites just to steady herself. I think so.
That's reassuring.
It's not a long fall, I can tell you that. You should be safe to jump down. I bounced off of something down there, so it's a soft landing. And I'll let go and slowly drift back down the hole.
Okay, Lorelei's gonna cautiously look down into the hole, and she's gonna wait until you're clear so she doesn't, like, jump onto you.
Oh, here, I'll do this as I'm fluttering, I guess is the correct term, back down through the hole. As I reach eye level to you, I'll kind of hold out my hands so you can take them and steady yourself, and I'll help you back down.
That is so much better. Yeah, Lorelei
So
will do just that.
Trampoline.
Yes, Philly, please carry me down.
Yeah. I'll offer a hand.
So, you guys make it safely onto the ground, and as you do, the dog trots over to you, Philly, and is gently holding your glasses in his mouth, and he offers them to you.
Oh! I'll give him a pat on the head. Thank you, and I'll gingerly take them from his mouth. I'll check them over to make sure they're not broken, and I'll put them back on.
Surprisingly, not broken.
Great! I can see still. Okay. Give us the elevator pitch. What does this new cavern look like?
It is, much smaller than the one above you. It almost seems like it's just this one area for a couple of giant mushrooms, but there is a tunnel, that leads further out. And the dog is currently, honestly, just going right through the tunnel, sniffing the ground.
I mean, I like the dog. I like the dog's intuition. Really fast, I am going to shout up to the guards up top. We're all okay. Don't worry about us. If you'd like to join us, it's not that far of a fall, or you can report our findings back to the other guards. Up to you.
There's a pause for a few minutes. And just as you think that they left, you do hear, and this terrified little gnome comes falling down, bounces on the mushroom,
Bless
and
him.
then slides down. And he's,
We love him.
oh, okay. And he just gets up, kind of brushes himself off, and where do we go now?
What a good lad. There's a tunnel leading that way. Your little pup seems to be taking a great interest in it. So I mean, we could follow your dog if he's got good intuition.
Oh boy. He looks as soon as you mention where the dog is, and he sees the dog kind of disappearing into the tunnel. He just quickly scurries after him.
I kind of want to check just in case if there's anything in this little space that is worthwhile exploring, or if we should continue through the tunnel.
Make a perception check.
Of course. All right, let's go. That is a nat 20!
Yes,
Woo!
you did! Let's go.
I feel good, guys. Magnum opus of this session.
Stall for me while I type.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
I'm excited. Things are happening.
You're seeing a lot. You're seeing a lot in this room.
I am. My eyes have been opened. Strangely, I look up and I see, 4 figures towering over us. One of them has some sort of shield around her. And the others are holding these strange, almost kind of like weirdly shaped, colorful stone objects, about 7 for each person. And they're just staring down at us, and they're talking in a language that I can't understand, but they're huge. They're giants.
And it seems like they're surveying our every move, as if we're fictional characters in a tabletop world.
I know, right? Weird.
Ring, ring, it's God.
Ooh, okay. Let me read this really fast. Oh, okay, cool. So as Philly's making her way towards the tunnel to follow the dog, she's just kind of looking around, and her keen eyes, especially for the little, like, bird side of her heartbeat brain, kind of picks up on shiny things. So she finds a gold piece, and she'll stick that in her pack. And then she finds 3 little, like, in little bunches, I'm assuming, glowing blue mushrooms that might come in handy later. So I'll kind of, I'll hold them up, not so much announcing it to everyone, but basically whoever's looking, and just kind of wiggle them to be like, hey, look, the universal, like, hey, look what I found kind of thing. And then she'll put them in her pack as well.
Cool. I make a mental note of what you get, but I don't say anything.
As I'm walking through too, so you said these were the same mushrooms that were in the underground city that we found, yes?
Yep.
Okay. Philly, as she remembers back to their voyages to the underground city and how she found Brie, the queen, and thinks back to how she stumbled across Brie, which was hearing that voice, that echoing voice in the darkness. Could I make some sort of check, just kind of to reach out spiritually, I guess, and familiarly, that's not a word, but that's the best way I'm gonna say it.
Yeah.
See if she can sense her mother's presence in this space.
You do kind of reach out and try your best to search, but you don't feel or sense anything.
All right, that is fine. I just wanted to try. Thank you. Yeah, so I'll just continue making my way through the tunnel then.
Making my way down tunnel.
Walking fast.
You all walk through the tunnel for a ways until it comes to an opening, and you see Abraham standing near the entrance, looking up, just like gobsmacked. The dog is out, kind of rummaging around in what looks to be another part of the abandoned city. This is not the same place you were before, but you can see the buildings, the overgrowth. You can see a lot of the light crystals that are illuminating the area. This one is like much bigger than the previous ones. You can even see further ahead what looks like this, what had at one point been like a tower, maybe like a city hall almost. A lot of very big buildings seem to be like taverns, maybe businesses, and along the outskirts seems to be a few bigger houses. So if this weren't an abandoned place, it would be safe to say this is kind of where the rich people lived. Further ahead, so right across on the other side of the buildings, is a bigger opening with light crystals here and there. It seems like that seems to be some sort of a main tunnel, a main road to go further on. To your right, to the far right wall, is another smaller opening. This one looks more natural, like it wasn't made by people. But it does go on for a while. And just to the left of the big tunnel, is a pretty big crack in the wall. And the dog is currently going through the rubble of the buildings and sniffing around, while Abraham is kind of following the dog, but also just so in shock at these buildings as he's inspecting them.
Interesting. I'll follow along in there and kind of catch up to Abraham. Did you not know these were down here?
No, not at all.
While we were making our way back up from the caverns the first time, when we rescued the queen, we found another section of this same city, somewhere else, somewhere in the caverns, caves, mines, whatever you like to call them.
Has there been this whole ruined civilization that's... How long? He's like... You can see his, like, brain, like, imploding here as he's, like, looking at these. And he's... How long have they been here?
Really quick, so there's, like, rubble and stuff around the city. Is there any way to tell, I guess, in two parts, like, if the city was either on the surface and then fell down into the underground and either just was ruined there or continued to somehow be a civilization underground, or if it was built underground? Like, is there any way to tell the situation?
There is no way to tell. It's too old. There's too little information. No one knows.
Okay, coolio. So yeah. I'll just kind of turn back to Abraham. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know anything about this place besides that it's here. But I think it's important to figure out.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've lived here my whole life and I never knew. He kind of pauses, and starts to, like, go towards, what seems to be a doorway of, one of the buildings, and just kind of pokes his head through and kind of looking around and... Oh, well, you said you, were in, another part of these before, right? Do you know about how far away that was?
I'm gonna assume I wouldn't know.
Remember, when you guys, like, came out, you were, like, in a ravine a pretty good way, away from the,
True.
city itself.
And we haven't traveled, I mean, as far as we can estimate, we haven't traveled that far from the sinkhole where we came in during the search and rescue.
Definitely not. You should definitely still be within the city limits.
Okay, cool. So I'll kind of relay that. I mean, we traveled a long way through the caverns when we first surfaced, but it was much farther away from the city than we are right now when we came out the first time. So, I mean, this thing could expand for hundreds of miles.
Fascinating. Well,
What?
By any chance, you didn't get to meet Moggy, did you?
Moggy?
Moggy, yeah, the, head librarian.
Did we?
There was a library?
I know.
We went to the library.
We did go to the library.
You took the picture book from the library! What are you talking about?
We went to the library. I remember that.
Did we meet the head librarian? I honestly cannot remember.
No, there was no librarian there.
Okay, cool. In that case, I mean, we went to the library, but we didn't meet any Moggy.
Oh, that's... Well, yeah, Moggy's the head librarian and record keeper. He took some people to search some of the tunnels for survivors himself, but, oh, if there are ruins here, I imagine he's probably not coming back for a while, and he's just gonna be recording all of it. Oh, that's not good. And he, like, rubs his face, clearly looking, like, stressed.
What's so wrong with Moggy staying down here and recording some records?
Well, for one thing, we're supposed to be focusing on the survivors. For another thing, he's really stubborn. He'd probably get himself lost down here, or killed, or even starved to death before he thinks about coming back up to the surface, and then we'll have to send a whole new rescue party just for him, and...
You know, I kind of know someone like that.
Oh no. Someone here?
My friend Shunk over there can be a bit stubborn too, but don't worry.
Oh.
He's not one for. I was going to say not one for causing trouble, but let's just say he causes harmless trouble.
Well, at least he's here, so you can actually keep an eye on him and keep him with you. I don't even know where Moggy is right now, so who knows how far he's gone or when we're gonna get him back. It's just one thing after another, I swear.
I just kind of pat Abraham on the back, in a sorry, I understand your pain kind of way.
Alright, Lorelei, Shunk, what are you two up to? Anything in particular?
Yeah, as they're talking, are we all just kind of like walking through the town right now?
You can if you want. The Abraham himself is just kind of in the entrance of one of the buildings, just kind of looking around.
Okay. Is there anything that like sticks out? Anything shiny, anything glowing, or just anything noticeable that stands out from the ruins of the city?
Make a perception check.
Okay. My spooky dice. We're in a spooky
Ooh.
city. It keeps getting stuck.
Spooky time.
There we go. Well, 11?
As you're looking around, just kind of on like the general like street area, nothing that stands out too much, but you find like it looks like a broken kid's toy that was made out of wood.
And you mentioned earlier, so there's the city, and then is the tunnel that we entered from, does it continue on, or does it just lead into the city?
The tunnel you came from just leads into the city.
Okay, and you mentioned there was a crack in the wall somewhere, right?
Yep, there's a crack in the wall on... Okay, let's see. Okay, there's a crack on the east wall next to the big tunnel. And then on the north wall is the smaller tunnel.
Okay, so there's two tunnels.
Here, I can write this down for you, too.
Okay. Yeah, I'm writing it down right now as well.
Okay, so East is where we came from.
You guys came from the west, so it's the opposite direction.
Oh, got you. Okay, so two
Never
tunnels
eat
in the
soggy
crack.
waffles.
Got you. Yeah.
Yeah, see, exactly. Never eat soggy waffles.
There we go. See, so there's three of us, and there's three different openings. So a smart person, in quotes,
well, one is a
smart
crack, not so much an opening.
Well, Shunk can go into the crack then.
There we go. Yeah.
Even Shunk can't fit. It's like it's not open. It's a crack.
Sean could probably rip it open with his bare hands.
He's a goblin, not a bear.
I knew you were going to say that. You know what we should do, guys? We've been making all the decisions here. We should let the dog make the choice.
Which does the dog want to go to? The small
By the way, does the
tunnel or
dog
the big?
Does the dog have a name?
You haven't asked.
Okay, my brain legitimately was gonna go, I'm gonna ask the dog, but that's probably not gonna get me anywhere, so I'm gonna, as Abraham's exploring, I think Philly probably contemplates it for a second. She, like, kind of steps towards the dog, opens her mouth a tiny bit as if she's going to ask, and then she realizes her mistake, and she redirects her focus to Abraham as he's looking around the city. By the way, your adorable little dog over there, what's his name?
Before Abraham can even answer, from further ahead, near one of the buildings, the dog, freezes, kind of digs at the ground, then
His name is
sad, mournful howl, and
oh no.
Abraham kind of looks up and rushes over to the dog and sees underneath some of the rubble there is the skeletonized remains of a person, but the bones look very, very old. It's not a recent person, but
okay. Makes me feel slightly better.
I mean, yeah, Lorelei would hear that and she would rush over to where Philly and Abraham the dog are.
Yeah, I'll go over to the dog too. I'll follow Abraham.
Yeah, and the dog is just whining, very sad at having found a person, unfortunately not alive. Abraham kind of goes over next to him and starts patting him, and oh, it's okay, Max. It's okay, Max. You did your best. There's nothing you can do for this one.
He's heartbroken. I wanna lean down and I wanna give the dog a hug.
Yeah, you give the dog a hug.
I'll sit down next to him and I'll wrap my arm around him and just kind of like scratch him by the ears.
Go ahead and make animal handling for me to see if you cheer the dog up.
Okay, this is a flat roll. That's an 11.
The dog Max is pretty bummed. He seems to appreciate the effort, but he's bummed. But after a few moments, he does stand up again, and Abraham whistles again. And at that, Max is like back to business, ears up, and he's sniffing around, looking around for anything or anyone else, while Abraham kind of looks at, moves some of the debris to kind of get a look at the skeleton. I'm not really sure what else to do, but he kind of puts some of the rubble back and tries to scrape up whatever loose dirt he can and kind of makeshift use the rubble and broken parts to make this makeshift kind of grave for the skeleton.
Abraham, does Max always react like that to his work?
Not usually, but he's used to finding, people alive, and ever since we started searching the sinkhole, well, he hasn't found anyone alive yet. I think it's starting to get to him.
Oh. Annie, I didn't need this today. I didn't
It's so
need
sad
this.
because this is a real problem in the world, and it makes me so upset.
Yes, it
Oh
is, and it is a real problem. That's exactly what. Yeah.
Oh my god, this is breaking my heart. I didn't need this. I thought the trauma would come from my own character, a fictional character that I wrote. Turns out, rescue dog trauma is my trauma.
Oh, don't worry. We're gonna get there too.
Oh my god. He's a fictional dog. I want to give him a hug so bad.
Ugh. As Abraham is burying the skeleton, remind me, was it found like underneath rubble, or was it found in a home?
It was found underneath some broken bits of a building. You can't really tell what building it is. It's a size that's it could be a house, could be a shop. You really can't tell. It's just next to one of the buildings.
Okay, so a building. Well, I guess it must have collapsed or fallen apart. Okay.
Yep.
Interesting. Wonder how that happened. Okay. What are you doing, Shunk? That was sad. What are you doing?
We need Shunk to make us laugh.
Shunk, do something funny. Do a flip.
Pee on one of the buildings.
Shunk kind of just looks at everyone and he kind of just shuffles around for a bit, and then he just starts dancing in a little jig.
Jeez.
Abraham looks like, wait, what is he doing? Is he okay?
Humor's a coping mechanism for some people.
You made him dance.
We did nothing. You took in our sadness and said, "Let me do a jig."
Yeah, he said, "Let me do a little dancey dance." Oh, and what was that? What was that? What was that?
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
I stuck 3 DMs together and thought this was a good idea.
Okay, well, you have a few options here. We could check out. Hold on, let me pull it up again. We could check out North Wall or East Wall if we're feeling up to it.
Oh, we wanted the dog to choose, but now he's depressed, so he can't.
now the dog can't choose.
Yeah, well, the dog is more interested in searching the buildings than the other places, so that's probably gonna take a while.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Phil is just gonna kind of like look around at all the buildings after finding this skeleton trapped underneath the rubble. Did it seem like it was rubble from like the building breaking apart that the skeleton was under?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. She's just gonna kind of look around at all the buildings, and after seeing how sad Max was with the skeleton, it's hard to imagine that there were actually people here, whether it was underground or above the ground, living their lives, and end up like this.
Lorelei looks around as well, just kind of taking in the unfortunate sight of what happened to this city. And who knows how long it's been. They've been down here for... who knows? My bigger question is, as she looks up to, like, the top of this cavern, question mark? How did this get down here? How did any of them get down here?
I can't say. It's fascinating and kind of tragic at the same time when you think about it. I mean, whatever way you put it, and I'll kind of look back down at the grave. No matter any way it happened, it's just not fair.
It's not. And maybe with some more exploring, we might find out, or at least get a hint as to what happened here. As she looks to the, she'll look at the, which is the big title? She'll look at the east wall.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll go with east. There's more stuff going on there.
It's very dimly lit by a couple of light crystals here and there and some glowing mushrooms, but it's not enough to really illuminate the space, so you can like really see what's in there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a very large tunnel, and it seems to stretch on.
Is Shunk with us, or is he back at the city?
Yeah, Shunk, are you coming or what?
He's still dancing.
He's still dancing over in the rubble.
No, he followed along.
Lorelei and Philly are having this like heart-to-heart talk about mortality, and he's just in the background being like, yeah, he's just doing a little jig in the background.
He's just doing the Charleston in the background.
Yeah.
A question about the body skeleton thing they found.
Mm-hmm.
Was it humanoid?
It was humanoid. He was a person, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I was gonna look down to Shunk if he was here and be like, can you see anything in the tunnel before we end up walking into another one?
Can he see anything, DM?
You can see further ahead. You see the ground very slightly kind of slopes upward, but you can't see it. It goes on for quite a while. It goes on pretty far.
Does it slope in a bowl-like fashion by any chance?
Nope.
Well, I'm out of ideas.
Wow.
This is a man-made tunnel, right?
Yep, it appears to be.
Okay. And is the crack on the wall close to where we are?
It's to the left, yeah.
Okay. Does the crack look like it is a crack that happened, like maybe wearing over time, or does it look like it was like forcibly cracked?
It's hard to tell. Can't really tell.
Okay. Well, that's all I got for the crack, guys. I mean, we can check out the small tunnel, then if there's nothing interesting, we can come back to the big tunnel.
Yeah, I mean, we could just check out all our options before we pick one.
Yeah. Okay. Small tunnel!
Small tunnel!
Okay. You guys walk, you need to, this is a really big cavern. There's a whole freaking city in here. So you guys are walking for quite a while to get over to the farther wall to check out the smaller tunnel.
I don't like the dice rolls.
So you get over to the smaller tunnel, and there's like no lighting whatsoever. It is just completely dark going down. Real quick, I need everyone to please make a super quick perception check.
I hate this.
Uh, 10.
I got 9.
I got a nat 20.
There we go.
All right. So Shunk, at the same time as the dog, you hear something coming from the larger tunnel, and you pretty much immediately hear the dog start barking and rushing over. You can hear this kind of deep, rhythmic, like, thrumming. Like, it sounds like something from further in the tunnel is being hit over and over, like a big thud.
In the small tunnel?
No, in the big one.
In the big tunnel. Okay.
Yep, all the way across, but you can't hear that.
Yeah, Lorelei and I
can't.
just have cotton in our ears.
That's
Yep.
right. Yeah. Da-dee-da.
We're too busy
I'd
contemplating
say you
life
probably
to-
do hear the dog barking, you just don't know what he's barking at.
I'll turn to try and find Max in the city. To
Yeah,
see
you
what's
can't
up.
see him from where you are. It's, like, too far, but you can, like, hear his bark echoing, basically.
Annie, I'm getting real close to my mic for this. Annie, if you kill the dog, me personally, will
I am
never forgive you.
I am not planning on it, but if something happens and you fail to protect him, I don't know what to tell you.
Annie, I can't state this clearly enough. If the dog dies, if the dog dies, I will cry for sure.
Well, then don't let him die.
We are not letting this dog die.
We are
A new
not.
objective.
So, yeah, I'll hear Max bark and I'll turn towards the noise. Abraham? Are you guys okay? No!
Yeah, you call out, but, I mean, between the echoes of the dog barking and just being so far away, it doesn't seem like he can hear you.
Shunk immediately clocks how distraught Philly is and just books it towards the hole.
Which one?
The big hole.
Okay.
And he's got kindness in tow. And he's just booking it.
Okay. So you turn as you suddenly see Shunk just start booking it back towards the big tunnel.
No question asked. I think Lily got it. Lorelei's gonna follow.
I'll be like, first I see Shunk run off, I'm like, Shunk, wait, Lorelei! And then I'll run after them.
And as you start running off, you're like, Philly!
Donkey!
Donkey!
I keep hearing dice rolls.
Gotta make some rolls.
I hate it.
Alright. By the time you guys, make it all the way back over to the tunnel, first of all, you guys are really getting tired. Your legs are starting to hurt. You get there, and, Max is, like, at the entrance of the tunnel. He's gone a little ways in, but not completely in. But he's, up at the, entrance of the tunnel, barking every now and then kind of pacing, seeming like he's not sure if he wants to go in or not. Now that you guys are closer to the tunnel, Lorelei and Philly, you can also hear the echoes of the thumping.
How would you describe it? As like a footsteps? You said like rhythmic. Is it like a drum? Is it like something? Is it like footsteps getting closer?
It's definitely not footsteps. It's very heavy, but you can't tell what exactly it is because it's just an echo. You can't tell exactly what it is.
My fear was that something was coming at us. And it doesn't seem like it's moving. It's just a stationary, like it's staying at the same volume, consistency.
Yep.
Okay. Could be a person.
If it's a really heavy like thump, I'm wondering if it's like a creature or something that's really big, and maybe he's just like forging a weapon, just thump.
It's Gioris making a new battle axe.
Well, that's my bestie Gioris. Don't worry, guys, it's fine.
Nah, he's good with the hammer.
He's chill. He's working on his next natural disaster. Don't worry about it.
He's working on the next hurricane.
The next one. Yeah, bring it on, bud. The smart thing to do would to not go toward the noise, but
Yeah.
why would
but
we
we're
do
not
that?
very
That's
smart.
no fun.
Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna check in with Abraham now. Is Abraham just like, what is he doing?
He is still back in the city somewhere. You don't see him around.
Ah, okay. So I was gonna ask him what that usually means when Max acts like that, but he's not here.
Suddenly, there is this very loud, you hear like this, it sounds like the loudest clap of thunder you have ever heard. Just something, this crashing sound echoes from the tunnel. It comes out at you all like a roar. There's actually like even some like dust and debris that kind of shakes free from the force of the sound. And Max himself, like, yeah! He yelps and like darts back in surprise.
Oh my gosh.
And after that, the thudding has stopped.
At the thunderous sound, Philly immediately claps her hands over her ears and like steps back as close to Shunk as she can get. What was that?
This is a really specific question, but did when that thunderous sound kind of just like echoed towards us, did it feel magical in any way, or was it just a loud noise?
It didn't feel magical. It was more like that was the sound of like brute force something.
What the heck is
Yeah.
going on? Okay. There's something in there. Something big.
Well, one way to find out.
Oh, lordy.
I'm not gonna find anything out here. Shunk starts walking through the hole.
All right.
Well, Abraham. Should we just leave Abraham? Should we just leave him?
Who?
Abraham.
I thought the dog's name was Max.
Honestly valid.
Well, if we're going into the hole, I don't think we should take the dog with us.
No, that's true. That's very true.
As helpful as he may be, as Lorelei gives him a little pat on the head. Is there a way for you to just... I guess I can't really talk to the dog.
I mean, you could.
I could. Lorelei will look down to the dog and then look back to the city and just kind of be like, go back to your master. And she points to, like, the city.
Yeah, Max, he's
a
like,
good boy.
Looks, he follows your finger, looks in, seems to get the idea, and trots back off into the city.
We saved the dog, guys.
We did.
Or
Good
did you
job,
send
gang.
him to his
High
doom?
five.
Which is also possible, but it's better than being whatever's in this cave. You know, it's better than that.
Yeah. At least we don't feel responsible if we bring him into the cave.
So you won't feel responsible if you send him to his death in the city?
Well,
That'll be
okay.
Abraham's
Nope, 'cause
fault.
that's
Wouldn't be our fault.
we have released custody of the dog, so
It's Abraham's responsibility now.
What if Abraham dies?
Well,
I'll
that's
be really sad.
Then I'll
That's
kill
on
him.
him. Then I'll kill him.
Nelly, don't invite the possibility. Don't do that either.
All right, so what are you guys doing? Are you going in? Has Shunk already gone in, or was he?
Yeah,
not?
Shunk's
I think
already in
Shunk
there.
already.
Okay,
Yeah.
Shunk
Okay.
has already left. Shunk has left the building.
Philly
Okay.
has she is feet planted to the ground, like desperately reaching out for Shunk, trying to grab him before he leaves, and he just slips past her fingers, and she is, I mean, it's written all over her face. She is devastated that he is leaving.
Lorelei's gonna walk next to Philly and kind of put a hand on her shoulder as she says, "We escaped a giant troll. What could happen?"
Still, she kind of jumps when you touch her because she's not expecting it, and she turns to you. There's a lot more a person can face in their life than just trolls.
I'm sure of it, but... And she looks down the tunnel and Shunk's already, out of sight.
Yeah, he's gone.
He seems willing to face it, and from what you've told me about the two of you, if Shunk's confident, I'm sure it's fine.
Lorelei, what if something happens?
She pauses for a moment. Then I guess we'll figure it out. Together. Kind of cringes at that word, but it comes out.
Philly's gonna kind of cast her eyes to the ground. She's thinking. She's full on shaking at this point. And then looks back towards the dark tunnel where Shunk is. Kind of takes a deep breath, and she holds out her hand for Lorelei to take.
Aw, Lorelei takes her hand.
And she squeezes hard. Like, really hard.
Yeah, Lorelei winces, but she lets it happen.
And she'll look back to Lorelei. Okay. I can do this. Lead on.
Yep, I'll lead on as she bites off the pain and walks ahead.
All right. So Shunk is real far ahead of you guys at this point. Are you guys, Lorelei and Philly, are you guys, just walking, or are you gonna try to run to catch up?
We should probably catch up.
That might be a good idea.
I mean, he's not that far ahead. He's got tiny little legs, and he was kind of just strolling.
That's a good point.
I don't know, they took a while.
When Philly tells Lorelei to lead on, she's like, oh yeah, lead on. But she is fast walking.
They take 2 steps, and they're already at Shunk.
Okay, it does take a bit of a jog for you two, but you do manage to catch up to Shunk, without slamming, tripping over him. And as you guys walk on, you find the further you go in the tunnel, it's still very steadily, very slowly sloping upwards. The ground beneath turns into this cobblestone road. Just kind of looks like a main road that would be up at the surface. And as you continue on for a while, your legs are starting to... They were already tired before, you're really getting tired now. You guys have been running around like crazy. As you do, you can hear a faint echo of something. And as you get closer, you can hear what sounds like the echoes of movement, of steps, and some strange, low, murmuring sounds. And that is where we're going to leave our session for today.
What? No!
I love it.
Awesome! Yeah!
I had an opportunity and I had to take it. How could I not?